and gentlemen, friends, distinguished stakeholders, welcome to this historic Sunnydale Block 6 groundbreaking. We are honored to bring up our most distinguished guest, the leader of the City and County of San Francisco. Please give a warm welcome to Mayor London Breed.
Good afternoon, Sunnydale. Are you here? All right, I'm excited to be here today. I feel like I spent a lot of time here doing some amazing things. We know that this is a long time coming. And in fact, I keep going back every time we come to any of our public housing locations. I continue to go back to when I grew up in the Western Addition in Plaza East, and there were 300 units there that were torn down and only 200 built. And all over the city, we brought forth a program through the federal government called Hope 6. You remember Hope 6? Hope 6 ran out of money, ran out of resources. And then the people who were promised in places like Sunnydale, Potrero Hill, and all over the city, rehabilitation and work, there was no support from the federal government to do that. And so at that time, Gavin Newsom was governor. They created Hope SF. I think Scott Wiener and Malia Cohen were on the board of supervisors, coming up with creative solutions and saying, you know what, we made a commitment, we need to follow through, and we need to get this done for the residents of Sunnydale, Potrero Hill, and any other public housing development that exists in San Francisco. Today is a day where we are breaking ground on 126 units, and we would think that would be easy once we have the resources to make it happen. But it hasn't been easy, and it took not only the community and the trust from the community to make this happen, it also took the resources, the process, and don't get me started with the bureaucracy and the drama that exists with city government with trying to get an amazing project like this done. And so I'm really happy to be here today because it definitely took a village. But it's not just about rehabilitating or redoing or rebuilding the homes that people live in. It's about investing in this community and looking at the fact that for so many decades, public housing residents have been treated, honestly, like second-class citizens in San Francisco and not been provided with the resources that are necessary to make sure as families grow in these communities, they thrive. Just think about it. Kaufman Pool, amazing. Thank you, Phil Ginsburg. It looks beautiful over there, a safe, great space for people to swim. And part of this project, and what I am most excited about, is Boys and Girls Club, working with the developers related and Mercy Housing. They're not just gonna help build a new center that will serve this community and serve families in this community with a child care, basketball court, tutoring places, and other things that are needed. They are investing their time in raising the dollars necessary to get this job done and to do it right for the residents of Sunnydale. And so we've come a long way, folks. I know it took almost Supervisor Cohen's entire term to get here, but we are here, and I am optimistic about the future. Earlier this year, when I held my budget announcement right here in Sunnydale in this location, I made a commitment to make sure that this community is not forgotten and that we fulfill the promises that we made to not only redevelop and provide unit opportunities, but one-for-one replacement, look at opportunities for people who raise their kids and their kids to have access to the affordable housing in their communities, making sure that we're providing and bringing the resources. And in fact, coming up soon, I think in the next month, there'll be a job fair and other things that many of the young people have expressed that they want in this community on a more consistent basis. So we got a lot of catching up to do, but it starts with so many of the folks that you see here who have made the commitment to continue to invest and support this amazing community. And yes, it is hot today. So we're gonna try to keep these speeches short so that we can get on with the ceremony and the festivities and get on with breaking ground on what I know will be an amazing, amazing contribution to this community, and the best is yet to come. All 775 units that exist in Sunnydale, one of the largest developments of public housing in our city, will be a one-for-one replacement. The mistake of what happened at Plaza East will not happen here. And we will continue to do everything we can to maintain that trust, to maintain that support, to listen to this community and continue to make the investment so that this is no longer a forgotten community, but a thriving community of families, of people who are just growing and loving one another and really moving our city forward in a positive direction. Thank you all so much, and with that, you can clap. And with that, like I said, the way we get housing built is people who not only care about making the money from what they are making from these projects, but what are they doing to give back? What are they doing to hire from the community? What are they doing to invest in the community so that the impacts of what they do in building these structures has a sustainable impact for generations to come? And I gotta say that Mercy Housing and Related, again, have been invested in raising the dollars necessary so that we can build the amazing facility that this community wants. And so at this time, I want to bring up Bill Whitty from Related and Doug Shoemaker from Mercy Housing to say a few words.
All right, we flipped a coin and I'm going first. So I want to first of all thank the mayor and all of our staff for the incredible work on this. As some of you know, this Sunnydale project and all of Hope SF has been an incredibly long process, longer than I think any of us would have wanted it to be. But what I think is incredible about all of it is just as elected official after elected official, you see two former supervisors here, current supervisors, past mayors, just the dedication and commitment to this is unusual, I think, for anything else you'd see in government. It's wave after wave of people committing themselves to this. And so I want to do a few thank yous. I want to thank our incredible architect, Levy Design. I would like to thank Baines Nibby, or Nibby Baines, our general contractors who are really doing the work that the mayor described earlier, really that commitment to hiring and making sure that folks from this community get good jobs and good career paths. I want to thank the staff from Related. They've been our partners since the very beginning on this, and we couldn't ask for better partners on it. I want to thank the staff from MoCD. I think I say this at many events. I know that we are sometimes less than easy to work with. It's a passion that we care about these projects as much as you do, and I think it's been a great partnership over the years. I really want to give thanks to all your hard work and dedication to this alongside our staff. And then last but not least, I want to thank a couple folks, or a couple groups of folks specifically. So if the folks who work on the ground here at Sunnydale, whether you work for Mercy Housing or any other organization, could just take a moment to stand up, because this is much harder work than any of the rest of us do. And I just want to acknowledge your incredible. I am repeatedly amazed at people's commitment to work out here and in other locations like this where it's not easy. You're not working out of glorious settings. We're not giving you the most incredible new offices to work out of, and the conditions and other issues that come with it are tough. But I'm amazed by the commitment I see by the Mercy staff, and I know the other staff from the Boys and Girls Club and the Y and the other organizations that work down here is equal. So I want to just acknowledge that. We also have a great team of folks working on this from our development office, David Fernandez, and other folks who are running this in our office. But I want to just single out one person in particular who has worked on this project since we were selected as a developer, and that's Ramey Dare. She is probably hiding as usual because she doesn't seek the spotlight. But I can tell you for certain that Mercy Housing and Related would not be here today celebrating this moment if it were not for her and her persistence. She's pulled many of us forward in this project. and she deserves a tremendous amount of thanks and respect for the work that she's done. And with that, I want to just bring up our partner, Bill Whitty. Again, you couldn't ask for a better partner than Related. People often ask me sort of like, what's a for-profit developer doing on this project? And I think the secret is that Bill secretly wishes he ran a nonprofit. And this is his one effort to kind of live vicariously through the Hope SF process. But Bill.
Thank you, Doug. I won't comment on the last statement, but I will tell you what you just saw when those folks stood up is why we're here today and why this is going to continue to be successful. Because what Doug and his team at Mercy have done, led by Ramey, is not just work on land use approvals and designs and construction, but being out here with the residents in the community, letting us know what the problems are, how we can respond, hopefully building some trust and credibility. So I also want to thank the residents for their patience, because it has been a long haul, but I hope you can see we're making progress. I will tell you, I said this at a meeting in Hunters Point last week, I've been working in and around public housing for 40 years. There is no mayor I've ever seen devote more attention to improving the lives of people in public housing than London Breed, and really need to acknowledge that. And what has helped us go through these 10 years, and I was there at the beginning, is we've had the unwavering support of everybody who had an influence here. First, Supervisor Malia Cohen, currently Supervisor Shamann Walton, and we are blessed, as San Francisco is, with the leaders in housing and affordable housing in the state, including now State Senator, former Supervisor Scott Wiener. Maybe there's something in the water here, but it sure helps. I would lend my thanks, as Doug mentioned, to the mayor's staff, Theo, who's coordinated the whole Hope SF program, Dan and his staff at Mayor's Office of Housing, and everybody who else ever worked in this. And finally, to pick up on something the mayor said, Doug and I and our teams are heavily involved in raising the money with the help of Phil Ginsburg and the Rec and Park Department to build a world-class facility that we are calling the Hub that will have all the services that will make this a community and not just bricks and mortar. We're going to get this done. We're going to get the whole development done, and we're going to be with you for the long term. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bill. So briefly, before the pool party at Kaufman, which you all are invited to after this, we have an incredible list of speakers, and my only job is to keep you on time. So it is hot. You are a distinguished group. We have, in many ways, the most important speaker to come first, a resident, a mom, a leader of this community. I welcome Miss Betty Hunter to the stage.
Hello and good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Betty Hunter. I'm 28 years old, and I'm a San Francisco native. I've been living in Sunnydale since 2011. Growing up in San Francisco East-South districts have not been easy. My parents were both addicted to drugs, and there was not much normalcy in my life. But with the help of my family members, they created some and were very supportive. Since I have become a mother, I have tried to instill the same values, support, and structure in my child's life. The Affordable Housing Act will allow me to give my child the opportunity to grow up in a community where he is safe and with habitable living conditions. It is a pleasure to know that fractured communities like these ones have been disenfranchised and looked at as a waste of space are now, in the near future, going to be a place that we can all call home. Being here and being able to speak today is an honor and a pleasure, and with the new development and the promise from the mayor's office, as well as the Housing Office of Development and Mercy Housing, I know that this project will be a great, I'm so sorry, I'm getting kind of emotional. It will be a great justice for communities that have been disenfranchised and the children that live here. So I just want to say thank you so much for your time and for allowing me to speak.
Please clap it up again for Betty Hunter and the courage to lead us. Amazing. Thank you, Betty. Next, we're going to bring up our field office director from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. It gives us, you can't do this without leaders in DC and here to move this work and to help partner. And so I'm honored to bring up Mr. Gerard Wynn.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge Betty. The reason we're here is for the families in this community and throughout public housing in San Francisco. And we're so proud of what you've done with your life, what you continue to do, and what you will do. We're very proud of you. First of all, also, I'd like to thank a unrecognized, unsung hero at HUD who does a lot of work for San Francisco and for particularly Sunnydale. His name is Trevor Auser, and he works for me in the local San Francisco office, and I'd just like to acknowledge his contribution to all this process. Thank you, Trevor. As you know, cities across the country are going through a severe and growing rental affordability challenge. So much so that according to recent HUD data, a worst-case housing needs study, over 8 million households in the U.S. pay more than half of their income on rent or live in substandard housing or both. One way HUD is addressing this is by partnering with housing authorities to improve and build properties in the housing authority public housing portfolios. HUD's rental preservation strategies and programs are assisting San Francisco Housing Authority develop and improve the units here at Sunnydale. San Francisco Housing Authority has been a national leader in repositioning their public housing units. In fact, the Housing Authority has completed many projects in its commitment to preserve and improve public housing. To date, San Francisco Housing Authority has preserved more than 4,000 public affordable housing units and leveraged millions of dollars in private capital to make these critical repairs and needed improvements to distressed public housing. I am excited for the families at Sunnydale to be part of this initiative. HUD looks forward to continuing to partner with the San Francisco Housing Authority and the city in this and future efforts to help families living in public housing. I would also like to thank and congratulate Joaquin Torres and Barbara Smith for their leadership and commitment to the Sunnydale community and to public housing in San Francisco. In fact, please join me in congratulating Barbara Smith on her well-deserved retirement. I would like to also echo the commitment and a thank you to the Housing Authority and Mayor's Office of Housing staff. A lot of people make these deals work, and I want to really appreciate and thank you for the service that you're providing. It's essential to this project. I'd also like to thank Tanya Lake-Dehu and her staff who are recent to the Housing Authority team and her commitment to continuing to address public housing challenges here in San Francisco, and look forward to working with her and her team in the future. I close by thanking again the families living here in Sunnydale for your commitment to the community, for your patience during this process to obtain decent, safe, and sanitary housing. This is truly a project that is worth celebrating. Thank you again to the Sunnydale community.
Thank you. And before I bring up the next officials, I also want to just remind everyone that we have a $600 million affordable housing bond on the ballot this November that not only doesn't raise property taxes and is the largest housing bond in our city's history, is the first time ever that we've set aside $150 million to provide support and rehabilitation in the infrastructure needs of public housing in San Francisco. So this is really exciting. And so with that, I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the fact that we are so fortunate to have incredible state officials, people who do amazing work in Sacramento, focusing on the kinds of things that are going to help create a better state with San Francisco as a beneficiary because of the challenges that we deal with here locally. And two amazing advocates have been absolutely incredible. First of all, Assemblymember David Chiu is joining us, and so I just want to acknowledge him and thank him for being here today. And at this time, I'd like to invite our state Senator Scott Wiener up to say a few words.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and having served with the mayor as colleagues on the Board of Supervisors and now in a new role working with our strong state-city partnership, it is just amazing to see her deep commitment to residents of public housing in the city and county of San Francisco. For far too long, we have, this city almost forgot about the people who were living in public housing, often in terrible conditions, and that was never acceptable. And this mayor has been playing such a key role in turning that around, making clear that public housing is critically important for so many families in this city, but it's also part of the future, because we need to do more than just rebuild. We need to expand, because we need to make sure everyone has a place to live in our great city, and that we are taking care and supporting all of our residents in all parts of the city. So it's a real honor to represent San Francisco in Sacramento in the legislature, and working hand in glove every day with Assemblymember Chiu. The two of us chair the two housing committees in the Senate and the Assembly. We're very lucky that San Francisco holds both of the housing committee chairs. And we work very hard along with Assemblymember Ting as a team to make sure that we are moving not just San Francisco, but all of California in a positive direction on housing. We've spent a long time in California having a negative approach to housing that has sort of driven the car into the ditch. If you look at the cost of housing in the Bay Area and increasingly in other parts of California as well, and a lot of people are suffering as a result. And so we are working very, very hard with the support of the mayor to try to turn things around and have a more positive approach towards housing, and recognizing that housing of all varieties is a good thing, and that public housing is part of the solution and part of the future. But of course, whatever we do in Sacramento, we don't build housing out of Sacramento. It's local communities that make sure, working as a city and with our nonprofit partners and with developers, to make sure that that housing gets built. And that's what this is about today, that the city and Mercy Housing and related, everyone working together to get these units built and to make sure people can live in them, and then to keep going from there. So this is incredibly exciting, and I want to congratulate and thank everyone who has made this possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Wiener, and thank you, Assemblymember Chiu, for your incredible leadership in Sacramento. As Mayor Breed mentioned, this work would not have been possible without the tireless leadership of then Supervisor Malia Cohen, who now fiercely defends us at the state level. It's a great honor on behalf of Hope SF to bring up the Board of Equalization Chair and former Supervisor Malia Cohen.
Okay, so how much time do I have, Theo? 60 minutes. All right. This is amazing. I mean, if you just look around, can you not? Look at this glorious day. Blessings are falling upon us. And I'm so excited to be here, to leave hot Sacramento to come to only mildly hot San Francisco now, to celebrate with you. I feel like this is my victory lap. I'm going to tell you, 9 years ago when I was a candidate running for supervisor, Ramey Dare sat down and gave me an infinite amount of time, and she briefed me on just the plan, just the vision of what Sunnydale could be. This was 9 years ago. I was a candidate. I wasn't even guaranteed to win. Only person I thought I could win was me and my mother. But I'm excited because not only did we win, but we continue to move forward and persevere. And I got to tell you, as a native San Franciscan, it's been real interesting to watch how this community has grown, how it's matured over the years. From the towers coming down, remember that? You got the brick homes, Mercy coming in. All the while, there were always promises made about rebuilding Sunnydale. And so today I kind of represent the class of folks that are no longer here with us. People who also had a commitment to this project and to ensuring the success of Sunnydale. Remember Sharon Hewitt? We must take a moment just to recognize Sharon Hewitt because her spirit is here with us. You remember the many residents who have lost their lives, one way or the other, our elders that have transitioned and our young people that have been lost to violence. We remember them and we celebrate and honor them during this groundbreaking as well. It is with great pride that we also recognize and uplift Mayor Ed Lee, who had an unwavering commitment to public housing. My predecessor, Sophie Maxwell, also had an unwavering and was a visionary in laying out the bones of this structure. So we've come a long way, and I want to be honest with you because today we are here celebrating and it just feels really good, but maybe I'm the only one that still has PTSD from the meetings, from all the folks that told us that it couldn't be done. They told me that we can't rebuild Sunnydale and Potrero Hill at the same time. They told me when I was a supervisor that I was too ambitious and that we would never be able to raise the money or allocate the federal dollars needed to partner to make this a reality. They said it couldn't be done. It's too expensive. They said it couldn't be done, but here we are today, by the grace of God, standing together, shoulder by shoulder. I want to recognize also Doug Shoemaker and Bill Whitty, who have been instrumental in this project related to Mercy. Thank you. Now, you may remember Olson Lee, who had up Mo CD, also Kate Hartley, who was also recently departed. They also had an instrumental effect in this project. Hope SF has been raising leaders, influencing people to get involved in the community. Theo, thank you for taking the helm at that awesome task. And so, folks, I'm here just to run this victory lap with you. My name is Malia Cohen. I'm the former supervisor, but now chair of the Board of Equalization. And the Board of Equalization is interesting because it's the board that I chair that works to ensure that projects like this has and maintains an exemption status, a tax exemption status, which means that allows this property to remain affordable. So remember those fears of displacement and outplacement and being pushed out and gentrification? We really need to continue to band together and celebrate and sing these praises because we are thwarting those forces. This San Francisco is for all of us, folks like Betty and her children, people that live here, that were raised here, and want to remain here. This is only the beginning. So, folks, I want to tell you my heart is full. I'm humbled. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. And to the entire resident and the community, Talofa, my heart is filled with alofas, nothing for everyone. I love you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Brilliant job, my dignitaries. And last but not least, before that incredible pool party at Kaufman, Phil Ginsburg is here. Go to the pool, it's incredible. We bring up the supervisor of District 10, a fearless leader for this community, Mr. Shamann Walton.
Thank you, Theo. Good afternoon. To some, this is just Block 6, a place in Sunnydale. To others, it's a public housing community. But to the residents, this represents hope. This represents home. This represents a community where many promises have been made over the past. I am excited to see the second building, the second homes go up here in Sunnydale. You've heard from a lot of the leaders who've been working on this for years. I've been fortunate enough to work on this project as executive director of YCD, working to make sure that people in this community actually got to work on the projects here in their community. It's exciting as I look around and see some of the residents that live in other Hope SF communities that came to support because they know and understand what this represents here today. And as I look around and I see Phil, and we talk about the hub that we're going to bring to this community, a world-class community center, basketball courts, things that make a community thrive, things that make you want to be here, want to live here, and want to take care of. As I look around and see residents coming together on this beautiful sunny day, which we know District 10 is the most beautiful place here in San Francisco, but I'm continue to be filled with joy every time we get to do a groundbreaking like this. In the words of that great philosopher, Jay-Z, you wonder why they call it the projects? Because it's a project. But we are changing that with Hope SF. These are communities that demand the respect, that demand for us to pay attention to them and make sure that that isolation that has existed changes. So this is not just about the housing that's going up. It's also about the grocery stores that we fight for to come to this community. It's also about making sure the streets and the roads look like other areas here in San Francisco. It's about the joint partnership with Baines and Nibby, and Baines being the biggest black contractor that we have working on projects here in San Francisco. It's about all of those pieces working together to create a vibrant community for the people who have been made so many promises for years. As someone who's lived in public housing and who had opportunities and mentorship and people help me be able to grow so we can come back and work together to realize the things we've talked about for decades, and that is the vibrancy of Hope SF communities. So I just want to say that I am excited, of course, to see Block 6 go up. I'm excited as we look over and see Parcel Q. And we know and understand that this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. So I just want everyone to look at this beautiful day and remember this, because once we have this new affordable housing come up, once we raise that $600 million that Mayor Breed talked about, we're going to continue to see more housing come up in this community across all Hope SF sites and continue to thrive and grow and give the community what they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Sorry, real quick, I just want to acknowledge my colleague on the Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Safai. Thank you for showing up and supporting. As you know, we share a border, and so it is definitely a pleasure to have someone who supports this work showing up and standing with us in force. So thank you, Supervisor.
Yes, thank you, Supervisor Safai, always been a friend. As the developers lead the mayor over to that incredible shovel and dirt over there, we're going to now transition to that wonderful moment. Please thank our incredible speakers, if you will. Thank our speakers, Madam Mayor, elected leaders.